Welcome, everybody, to the KeSPA Cup. We're back here on Sunday, live at the Mexican Arena. I am Valdez. With me today is Moonglade. How are you doing?
Oh, man, I'm so excited, Valdez. More excited than usual because we have some sick matchups going on. 2 TVZs. Couldn't actually ask for a better semifinals.
Yeah, it's looking really, really nice here. We've got 4 incredibly good players. We're going to start the night off, guys, for you guys who are not paying attention, but you're still streaming in, still tuning into the stream. It's going to be Su versus Flash. And Flash just able to overcome Classic in a best of 5 on this new map pool. He makes it here in the semifinals, and he's got Su now for the first TVZ.
Yeah, it should be pretty interesting. Sickest best of 5 those guys had, Classic and Flash. Really went the distance. I know Classic had some choice words to say after the match on Twitter with about the map pool, which, you know, it is a new map pool. It is the new ladder map pool, so everyone's kind of getting used to it still, especially these KeSPA players. Yeah. They've been forced to play on these Pro League maps for the longest time and Star League.
Yeah. Also, the Protoss is not seeming to have the easiest time, but to be honest, 2 of them weren't the strongest. San and Pig Baby, they got knocked out in the round of 16. Hero, he hasn't been looking amazing these days. He gets knocked out 3-1. So what can you really say? Classic almost beat Flash.
He almost did.
There were a bunch of crazy games, to be honest.
You might argue that, you know, Classic should be on another level for the Flash as well, you know, considering how Classic just won a Star League and whatnot.
Yeah, well.
But Flash, you know, he has his own style as well. He's very macro-oriented sort of TVPer. Yeah. And he kind of brought that into those games, and we had some really interesting games, especially with those proxy Tempests. Really mixing things up.
Moonlight Madness, man. You made an incredibly fun map.
I did good, guys.
So much good.
No, I did fantastic, man.
I feel bad, actually, for the guy who actually made the map. His name is City in the Bard.
City in the Bard. He did some fantastic work making an interesting map, and I'll continue to claim credit for it.
Teaching the kids young.
Yep. It's good to see a nice turnout already. You know, it's a rainy day here in Seoul, so the numbers are usually thinned out a little bit due to that, but you know, everyone wants to come here and see the top-level StarCraft 2 play today.
Yeah. Speaking about Flash a little bit more, I wasn't actually even expecting him to make it past the round of 8, but everybody was really hyping him up, saying he's playing so well these days. And then I saw him against Classic, and he was actually playing really strong. He looks like another beast there in the booth on that day.
You know what? I've always appreciated his TVP when it actually gets off the ground. If you can get to the mid-game pretty safely without like kind of undamaged, he's like a wrecking ball, man. He's like steamrolls their opponents just with ridiculous numbers, just massive amounts of numbers. He gets so far ahead in supply.
Oh, yeah.
If he can get to that stage. It's about mechanically getting to that stage there, which is always the problem.
Yeah, he's up there. I mean, him and Innovation, and even some of these other like really top-level Terrans like Dream and Maru, he's up there, I feel, at least on that macro stage. He loves to play his greedy style in that matchup. You know, we were even seeing like fast 3 CCs, and I think 2 of those games.
Yeah. No, I agree, and it's kind of like Maru and Dream are 2 different kind of Terrans to Innovation and Flash. Like 2 ends of the spectrum where it's a lot of aggression and multitasking versus a lot of hardcore macro.
Well, guys, we have the WCS 2015 global standings so far and how many points these guys have. For this tournament, a ton of points on the line. I believe it's 2,500. So, of course, all these players jockeying for as many points as possible. If you'll notice, you do see Dream up here, Maru's up here. They, I think, have already secured their spots for BlizzCon here. Dark is also down there at 15. He's going to be looking to get the win today. He really needs those points.
Yeah, he really needs it. And you don't see Su on that page, but no doubt it would really help him if he wants to try and make it there. Su still has that potential. Yeah. He still has a chance, but he's got to start winning a lot more, and maybe you have to do some traveling as well.
Yeah, him and Flash actually not up there. Those are the only 2 from our semifinalists here. They're definitely going to be playing their hearts out tonight because they want to make it at least to the finals to get as many points as possible. As we said before, Flash versus Su is going to be the first matchup, and then Dark versus Dream. And overall, 3 SKT players making it through here to the semifinals.
Yeah, 3 SKT. I mean, no surprise. SKT are just really on another level right now. As you can see, there's the matches we have in a row. Final's going to be After Dark versus Dream. I think this is a kind of like a Dream bracket for Dream, actually. You know, beating his teammates that are also Zerg players. I dare say his best matchup right now. He might have the off chance of facing Flash, but I'm pretty sure he could handle Flash as well. This might be finally his chance to win a tournament.
Yeah. I think for me, I would love to see Dream get through just because of that fact, like you said. You know, he's almost due for a tournament. Although I feel like Dark even though he's slightly the underdog here in my mind, I still feel like he's got a decent chance to make it through.
Yeah, that's it's always a thing when you're playing your teammates as well. Like the variables change. Like maybe in practice, Doc just beats Dream every single time. These things can happen just stylistically as well. Yeah. And Doc really has his own style.
It's definitely possible. But guys, we do have a lot of events here. So smart, so lucky. Come down here, and every time you come, you have a chance of winning a prize. I believe that's the raffle. You got to sign up for that somehow. Not sure how you do that if you're an English viewer, but go up to the desk. We have people that can speak English and tell you how to do that. Also, I believe you can spin that wheel. And, of course, there's the Viper event where you can abduct one of your friends to come down. We had a very famous GIF of a couple from yesterday. Definitely check that out on the StarCraft Reddit. Oh, man, this guy is...
He's got some sick latte money, man. Even watches to give out. That looks like a pretty cool watch. Yeah. I'd take it. Well, how about that? You guys can actually get some of that, the good stuff if you come on down here. Fly to Korea and get in.
Yeah. Fly down now, book your ticket, and maybe you'll be here in time.
Well, I mean, it's probably going to be it's going to be about a 6-hour show, right? You know, yeah. It's got 2 best-of-5s and a best-of-7. So
yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, so well, maybe you can make it in time if you live in like close by, maybe China or something.
Mm-hmm. So this is just cheering messages from the fans. Say, Dream, you're awesome down there. I saw there's some stuff for Kanata. I think there's some kind of running joke over here. There's always like one person after they do a cheer for the players, you know, as the game is starting, someone will be like, oh, going go fighting, like talking about Kanata.
It's so weird, right? He's got so many fans. But, yeah. I mean, it's good. You know, he used to be a pro gamer, so no doubt he's carried a lot of fans with him into his casting career, which is great. Yeah. Good thing. Very good thing. For sure. Should be getting started soon, but it is Flash that we are dealing with here. Yeah. You know, you can always tell.
Somehow just his presence there on the stage is just slowing things down.
Everyone just gets a little bit slower when Flash is around.
Well, guys, we got our viewpoints here. Will Flash overcome his TVZ? He's definitely had some weak TVZs in the past.
Oh, yeah. And first ZVT for Su in this tournament. Su, you know, used to have fantastic ZVT. I wonder what he's going to bring today. No doubt he's going to have some plans for someone like Flash, who is a very greedy Terran player, especially versus So maybe we'll see some aggression. Though Su is kind of the player that will take his time, will set up a nice macro game and play it from there.
Yeah. Su's tricky, though. He does sometimes add in those very aggressive builds in pretty much any matchup. I think the least would probably be ZVT for him, I guess.
Yeah, he likes to mix things up pretty big time.
In fact, as I say that, though, he did mix it up against Hero, who he defeated 3-1. A lot of aggressive builds, aggressive timings in that series.
Hero is just playing insanely disappointing, though. Like, really off his point. Like, TJ guys are really struggling right now. Maybe they're on holidays, and they're kind of just letting it happen.
Yeah. Him and Biel just not looking the best, to be honest. Something's going on in that house. I'm not really sure. But, guys, we got our tablet guy on the stage. Tablet Man.
Tablet Man.
We're going to be deciding the bans and picks for our first best of 5.
Dash and Terminal out the window from Su. Not a surprise there. Let's see what Flash wants to get rid of.
He didn't really have to think about that too much.
No.
He's like immediately just Dash and Terminal.
Probably the Tablet Man did it for him. He's like, I know what you want to get rid of. Cactus Valley for Flash. All right. You can see a lot of Zergs succeed over Terrans on that map.
Yeah. I'm seeing Terrans bend that out against Zerg pretty consistently over here, at least during the KeSPA Cup. And let's see what Su picks first here. Iron Fortress.
Okay. I like that. Moonlight Madness, Flash's map. Taking a liking to it, Valdez.
That map is just so fun. I hope we get to see it in like every series here.
Yeah, I got to play it a bunch last night when I was doing some laddering.
Yeah.
Interesting map.
How'd you like it?
Yeah, I didn't mind it too much. Still got a lot more to play on it there. Kind of had to do my placement matches again, so it wasn't the best of games.
Terraform here for Su. Zergs have been liking that map. You know, you got that gold base at least. And
yeah, we do see some good games in that one as well. Su last time playing on that one against San actually expanded on the wrong side back when he was still getting to know the map.
Although the next time he did expand on the right side against Hero.
That's
so.
right. Bridgehead and Coda the last two as well.
It's funny that Flash leaves Coda for the last map. I'm seeing a lot of Terrans really favor that map, and even before this map pool, Zergs were trying to ban that out.
Yeah, that's right. That's absolutely right there.
Before Dash and Terminal showed his face into this map pool.
It's ugly, ugly face. Well, it still makes for interesting games, though, which is always a good thing as well. You know, mixing it up, throwing in new maps. It's definitely what made Brood War so successful. They had such a crazy map pool. They had people actually, you know, employed to make new maps, which
it makes
very
sense.
Cool thing to do, and it really mixes up the game, changes it a lot.
I mean, say what you will about that Flash versus Classic series. You know, was Classic supposed to lose? Was it just the map pool? That was one of the best series we had ever seen. It was one of the most fun, one of the most, you know, exciting to watch.
Yeah.
So, you know, it may be a little bit frustrating for some of the pro gamers who aren't used to the new maps. You know, they have to change up the play style. Maybe Classic just doesn't like them in general. It goes against his play style, but it was still a fantastic series.
Yeah,
you know?
there's a lot of adaptations. You know, StarCraft does take a while for things to get figured out on new maps, especially, and balance changes. Things like take a couple of months to really settle. So, in this very volatile time.
Yeah.
In KeSPA Cup, the new maps are out. Everyone's kind of scrambling to figure everything out.
Yeah, especially with the way KeSPA Cup lined up. Like, we had the Pro League finals, and everyone from Jin Air and SKT had just played in the finals, and they had one day. They had Sunday.
Literally one day.
To practice.
And they probably slept
and then
most
Monday,
of that day. Yeah.
Monday was KeSPA Cup, so.
It's pretty ruthless.
Well, I think everybody from those two teams except Pig Baby did make it through, though, so it didn't really seem to phase them.
They scraped through.
Dark was the one who was like...
He got tested the most, getting past Fantasy, who was really familiar with Dash and Terminal especially, had that map figured out to a T. Had a fan in the audience there.
That fan was so surprised to be on camera there. She was like, what, me?
He was like, where is it?
It was a weird placement, too. It was like above her. I don't even know how they did that.
Probably the crane, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
They should use the crane for us sometimes, too. That'd be cool.
Just like get it in up here.
Angle
I don't even know if
window.
it goes that high. I don't think so.
Oh, you might be right there.
For you guys who have or have not noticed, we are in the booth again here for the finals. This is a pretty consistent thing.
It happens every finals in case there's too many people in the studio. We get shipped off into a little bird cage. But it's fine because it is air-conditioned now, which is...
Yeah. We're not, in a sauna here. We're not melting anymore. We're going to be pretty energetic for this one. I'm really excited. I got a good sleep last night.
You did. You did a great job yesterday, Valdez. You guys did like 9 hours of work. And
it was the same thing we did on Monday, actually. We went from 2 to 10:30. It was the same thing.
Oh, it's crazy, man. It really taxes you, especially if you're trying to be an entertainer the whole time and broadcast the whole time. It's insane, but looks like we're nearly ready. Flash actually beats Su into the lobby, which is, whoa, when you know something's going on. Clearly there's a problem with Su right now.
Flash having the big advantage already.
Yep. 6-5 against Zerg so far this year. And 23-23 in official matches. 50% win rate. Not the best, but looks great. Beat the Star League Season 2 champion only yesterday.
And the big thing about that is that the first half of this season was spent in his slump, where he went something like 4-10. He was not looking good. So the second half on the other side, in order to get the 50% win ratio, has been quite good, as it directly mirrors what he did in the first half.
That's right.
So he's been looking better and better, and after his series against Classic, this guy is definitely on his game these days.
He has a good shot against his player as well. Su, he's not been doing that well against Terran. 5-4 this year. I dare say ZVZ is by far his best, and he's had more success in ZVP recently. ZVT might be the weaker matchup here. So we'll see what Su's got planned. No doubt he's had a little bit of time to prepare for the likes of Flash. Could definitely see a TVT Grand Final though, Valdez.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a possibility. And even ZVZ is possible if Dark's on his game. I would throw that series to Dream, definitely, but those guys are teammates. You never really know what is going to happen, how each other prepared for anything. But I think we're jumping into game number 1 here, guys. Let's do it right now.
KT 롤스터 플래시 이영호 vs SK텔레콤 T1 수 어윤수.
Up here in the top right, in the red, from KT Rolster, all alone in the semifinals from that team, it is Flash.
GG girls are back.
Circling the win or victory part of that message.
That's good. Down here in the bottom left, we do have the SKT Zerg, 1 of 2 today. It is Su. 3 SKT players in these semis.
He's saying, she's saying rather, stop with the finalist image here, Su. You got to win this one.
Seriously, I think everyone's sick of it at this point. It's like, we know you can get to the finals, Su, but you got to close, mate.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see who gets out of the other side of the bracket, because if it's Dark, I would definitely favor Su going into that one, even though Dark is also fantastic in a ZVZ. But, I think Dream will come out of it, and in that case, I would favor Dream.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think Dream has got the best shot out of every tournament he's gone to the finals so far, and if he gets to the finals of this one, I think he wins it. I think it's a great shot this time. And it's really a massive tribute to Dream as well for making it to the grand finals of yet another, nearly to the grand finals. I don't want to get ahead of myself here. But so much consistency with this guy. He is such a good player. Like, he's doing exactly what Su did, like, last year. He's making it to all the finals he plays in. He's so consistent, which is really something else.
Yeah, it really sheds a great light on SKT as well as a team. Bringing this new player up in Dream, a guy who had so much potential for so long, they're finally making him into such a fantastic player. So definitely some credit has to go to the team, but he's definitely come a long way.
And that team does produce a lot of champions.
Yeah.
And they've already made it to the last playoffs of Pro League, and they're just getting so many wins. Like, they really are just on top of their game. All of them are doing fantastically. But enough of that, Valdez. This game, Su versus Flash. What can Flash do? Can he be the one that upsets an SKT player at this time? Tries to make it. Well, he's already done it once. Can he do it again?
Yeah. Just so many SKT players. Flash has already killed one of them. This is a different matchup, though, here, TVZ. I'm really curious to see how he's going to play in this one against Su. We've seen him already going for a CC first, as is the Flash style, but he does put it up on the high ground, being slightly safer than he normally would be. Yeah,
he's being very defensive so far. Going to throw down a bunker, getting that orbital. So everything normal for Flash. We kind of expected this. No doubt going to be going into that factory behind that into Hellions, take that map control, and from there, things kind of change up.
Yeah. On this map, these guys are cross positions, and who do you think you would favor, actually, just going into this big map cross positions here for game number 1?
I think the more comfortable Flash is, the scarier he is. And this is, I say, the best position for him. Though it isn't the best kind of map for Terran to push across the map as well, as you can see in the middle there. It is very spread out. The bases are spread out in a way where, like, decent creep spread and decent engagements will favor the Zerg. But, let's see what Flash has got planned and how he wants to play this one out too, Certainly won't be seeing mech on this kind of map. It's just too spread out for that, the likes of that. But maybe Flash can do some damage early. Maybe he can go for a timing. It's also another thing to note on this map is because it is cross-spawn and it is such a big map, that scouting for the Zerg is so much harder. So if Flash tries to mix things up and go for, a 2-base, clearly not going to be this time around, but if he did go for a timing, it'd be so hard for Su to read.
Oh, yeah. You can tell both overlords going to the top and to the right side. Only now is he really going to see what Flash is doing at all. With this first poke here, with his links, he's also got the overlord in the back.
Yeah, if Flash actually put that CC in the back of his main base, there's no way he would have known it. No way Su would have seen that at all. But instead, deciding to use it as some SimCity and the front of his base there, help block off a little bit.
Not a bad idea against Su. What I was talking about before, like, Su is a fantastic macro Zerg, but he can turn it on at times and really put on the aggression, and he's scary with that as well.
Oh yeah, he loves his roach timings. We've seen that a lot in the past. Su's just going to play a normal game from here. They're going for a quick lair, but not a too later third hatch behind it as well, after scouting that third CC.
Yeah. Yeah. Wonder what he's going to be doing with that layer. He's only taken 3 of his gases. And by this point, I think you would have 4 of them if you're trying to save up that gas for Mutas, right?
Yeah, I think it would still be Mutas, just he really delayed it. Focusing more on the minerals so he can go for that third base and drone is behind it.
Okay.
He's got to be careful, though, because Hellion Banshee are going to be on the map, and when the Hellion numbers get high enough, it becomes a little bit trickier, especially in this kind of map.
Look at this.
Wow.
Flash going for the Ultra Greed into mech. He's just going to sit. He's like identified these guys across spawns, puts down a really early third CC, and now he's just going to be like, okay, here we go. Upgrades all the way.
Wow, I eat my words. And I'm surprised to see mech on this kind of map, too. You know, it could have something to play with the fact that it is so hard to scout your opponent as well, as I was saying earlier. So the later Su scouts it is mech, the harder it's going to be to deal with. You miss out on a lot of timings if you miss scouting it early enough that when you get to the mid game, you don't have Roach Tech at the same time as your Muta Tech, or going into a fast hive behind it. There's a lot of things you can do that he's not going to have a chance to do.
Yeah. Well, first Banshee coming in here already being taken down to 50 health. Getting 0 kills,
Ooh,
so
look
doing
at
a good
this.
job.
Beautiful Overlord dump. He's got to stop it there. He's got to dump. Poop it out. And he does.
Get it out, Overlord.
Squeeze.
Don't wait any longer.
I know all about that, Valdez.
Yeah, you had to take a little bit of a detour on your way here to the cast today, McLean.
Fun memories. Well, I survived, unlike that Overlord. And looks like Muta's not going to be the first choice here. And as we see a Baneling Nest behind this, you know what that means, Valdez? He doesn't know that it's mech.
I mean, if you consider the amount of information Su has got, it's pretty much nil. You know, he saw the third CC, and that's about it. He knows there's a decent number of Hellions out on the map, but you can't really conclude that this is definitely going to be mech off of that.
Yeah, that is certainly true. I see a lot of thoughts coming out in 1-1. Flash in a great position right now. He's really hit this well.
Yeah, even just the one Viking. You know, he got that out decently early. He's cleaned up all the Overlords. And look at the 4th CC2. Flash is just, he's looking to get so far ahead in this game.
Oh, yeah, he's looking great. And this is such a mind game that we actually did see Innovation against Snoot. Snoot was not expecting Innovation to be throwing out mech. And it really took him for a spin because, you know, Zergs have to be prepared for this kind of build order. And if they're not, then they get so far behind so quickly. Yeah. But as we say, that's his Mutas are doing a lot of work. This third base actually is in shambles right now, and that's the reason why mech is such a surprise in this map, is because it is so spread out. It's so hard for things to be in position to defend against this kind of harassment.
Yeah. And funnily enough, you know, Su does see the Thors out on the map. He sees the very early, you know, 5th and 6th gases coming out here, and he's still going with that melee upgrade. Do you think he just still hasn't seen it? I mean, he's adding a Roach.
He certainly knows at this point. Maybe he'll want to cancel it, or maybe he just wants to accept that he's going to upgrade that and maybe go into Ultras a little bit later on. Which is not a bad choice if the composition is right.
Yeah. Immediately takes a 4th base. He's adding all the necessary tech now as well. So he definitely knows. And also, I want to point out the creep so far from Su is extremely thick. Look at all those active tumors.
Yeah, there's a lot of tumors. That is at least 3 creep queens. So the map is going to be flooded by the time Flash decides to move out. Already reaching the middle of the map there. I like this composition from Flash so far, though. It's a great sort of anti-air. And now he's adding in the tanks as well as 2-2. So he's going to have a very well-rounded composition to deal with anything that Su can throw his way until he gets to Hive and those blinding clouds come out.
Oh, man, you got to be so careful with these Mutas. He's going to lose, looks like 3 or 2 of those.
That was 3, man. That was rough.
And all just for a little bit of damage on that CC, so.
Yeah. At this point, I think the Mutas are kind of a throwaway unit. There is there to scout and harass, but you're never going to find a good engagement with them again, or really a place to put them. Ling run by considering, and then changing its mind.
And then going in. No, too many Hellbats here. Muta's coming back. Gonna just see the composition here with those Lings pretty much.
Yeah, very light harassment there. Flash adding his 3rd and 4th factory as well. Maybe a little late, actually, considering he's up 4 bases now.
Yeah. Maybe he's just not even used to getting those bases up that fast. I mean, if you consider this right now, they are essentially on the same amount of bases. Su's got an extra macro hatch, but that's about it.
Yeah, it looks like Su's gearing up for for a big attack on that 4th base as well. That sensor tower coming down at the right time. Ooh. Oh.
Nice little harass over here. He's just barely going to get that repair.
Disruption is good. That army is pretty scary. If the tanks are caught out on siege, he could wipe them pretty easily.
How many tanks are there even? There's only 4 tanks. They got a pretty good position on the high ground, but the other 2 are on the low ground here. The Roach is going to move forward now before 2-2 is finished here for the mech army.
Oh, yeah, that is not enough units. It looks like Su's going to completely dominate this army, reset the tank count. You can get these last couple of thoughts and maybe go towards that planetary. You can get it down quick, smart.
I mean, he's just rolling over Flash at this point.
Hey, man, name of the game in this map. It's so spread out. How are you ever going to get a good defensive position between all your bases? Scans go down. The GG scans the Flash. I think he's called it already.
GG. Wow.
Hey.
That was like even kind of anticlimactic. He was just like, oh, you're going mech, I guess I'll just kill you.
Yeah, right. It's not an easy map to be going for mech on. I think he was really going for that surprise play on Su. Like, Su would not be expecting it. And he got down 4 bases, but he just didn't have the army to defend any of them, really. There's always going to be one point of contention, and unless they're set up there, they're not going to get it.
Yeah. I would have even liked to see Flash just not fly out that Fort CC that fast. You know, like you're saying, just defend at the 3rd base, maybe at the choke if you're natural, and just sit back and try to get that mech army up first because, I mean, you can see what a Zerg can do if they can just pump out a lot of units. He had a pretty fantastic economy for a long time, so. And Su just rolling over Flash there in that first game.
Yeah, massive stomp there from Su.